All right. Welcome back to the Board Drill Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Kyle, and with me is my co-host, Matt. Tonight, our special guest is Coach Matt Perkins of the Rock Bridge Bruins in Missouri. He's the head football coach there. Coach, welcome to the show.
Man, I'm happy to be here, guys. Ready to talk some ball. It's been a long, dark winter, and it's time to get going.
No, Coach, we love it. And so if you're listening real quick, if you're listening to the podcast, we appreciate you listening. If you have a minute and you're listening on YouTube or any other medium, please like and subscribe. It helps us grow our channel. We appreciate that. And additional, make sure you log on to www.boarddrill.com and subscribe to us there. We write articles weekly. Now, Coach, me and Matt Dixon here have been talking all day about this. Tonight, you're going to talk to us about the double G in multiple formations. So we have no idea what the double G is, but we've been speculating all day. So, Coach, I'm going to give you the show here, and we are so pumped to listen to this. So go ahead and take us away.
I'd love to hear what your speculation is. Is that allowed?
Now I'm a defensive guy, so I was like, what does he mean by double G? Is he just going to pull two different guards, two different ways? And it's going to be like some awesome trick play? Like, what's going on? Matt, what did you think it was?
Yeah, at first it was maybe he's I didn't know he was an offensive guy. Maybe this was an offensive presentation.
I just told him the
so
title.
I was like, maybe maybe he's got two eyes or two techniques, and he's doing stuff with that on defense. Maybe he's running down lead on offense. Maybe he's pulling both guards. That was most of the conversation we had.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, perfect, guys. So we're going to talk offense tonight. Get to talk a little bit about buck sweep, I guess is what you're probably used to hearing it as, or maybe as pin and pull. I'm going to tell you why they're wrong and why we're right. And
here we go.
Yeah, so this is something I truly believe in. Feel like we do this as well or better than anybody in the nation. And really, really excited about kind of how we perform this play, and that's something that for the last 6 years we've had immense success with. We've never been under 8 yards per game running it, 8 yards per play on the season. So it averages out as 8+. This year was our highest at 8.8. Continue to just nick away at it and get a little bit better, and I'm excited to unfold that for you guys. But first. If we can, I'm going to dive into kind of how we do our formations, kind of take you through that. And then, you guys want to stop me at any point and ask questions, just go right ahead. Okay.
Will do.
All right. Perfect. Well, I've got this pulled up over here. I'm going to make it larger and just kind of run with it. So we run an empty wing T style offense, and we call this, the Bear Raid. It's kind of a play on, the Baylor Bears, and you've got the air raid system, and we've merged the wing tee with the air raid, and so here we go. All right, this is just kind of a dream picture here, as you guys can look. If you're old wing tee guy under center and just absolutely tired of going in and seeing all these junk defenses and this loaded box, and came from a small school background and was like, man, I'm tired of it. I want to change it. And so one thing I noticed was that anytime we would play somebody that would get in empty, even a little bit, we had an automatic, hey, we're going to get into this look and we're going to try to do this thing against empty. And we may have one check if they're multiple in what they do out of empty. And so started toying with that in my mind on, okay, well, what can we do to make empty more valuable? And we're going to paint the picture that we want to see, and then we're going to move parts around and get the look that we want to attack. And we're able to do that through kind of a unique system that we have on numbers, which I'm going to show you. But this is a really good picture. And if you have a running quarterback, and we have not in the last 3 years had a running quarterback. Previously, for 3 years, we did. And things were really dynamic, but we've been really successful in both looks. Shout out to Alex Harrell, my offensive coordinator, who's able to work with anything back there. And we've had some really good guys back there, and notably a guy getting ready to go to NIU. So we've had a Division I quarterback, Brady Davidson, for the last 3 years performing. He's really freaking good. So we've been an RPO based out of these looks and that sort of thing. But that's a great picture. You get 4 guys in the box right there. If I'm looking at this, I'm counting between the tackles. I've got 3 and then 1 linebacker. That's 4 in the box. That as a wing T guy, you just salivate to see that, right? And so we're going to manipulate out of empty, and then we're going to give you some dirty things. All right. So a little bit about me. I'm married. I've got 3 kids. This is kind of my world right here, and just want to stop and pause and say, thank you to them. They're upstairs right now trying to be quiet so that I can do my thing. Just once again putting their lives on hold, and they are absolute rock stars. Had a wild journey. Mentioned going from a really small school in Missouri. It was known as Willow Springs. And that just a really tough go for me, but a great start in my career, a chance to learn. Got paired with a lot of different personalities, a lot of different people there that I had to kind of survive and adapt with, and really proud of that experience with those guys. And then moved on, took a job at West Plains, and took over that job after a few years there, and had a ton of success. And so for the last 6 years, I've been a head coach, just kind of tearing through things, and it's been a lot of fun. Getting ready for a game on Friday, and the Friday's game day. We don't bring our kids in on Saturdays and Sundays. They are not allowed in the facility unless they have to get treatment from the trainer. We're not in there watching film with them or anything like that. It's go out and be a kid for just a couple days a week.
Coach, real quick, back up.
Yeah.
That Thursday, early morning, so it's before school, you do your walkthrough, and then every other day, are you normally after school for practice, and then Thursday you do it before?
Yeah. So We're after school. Thursdays, we don't start school any day until 9:00. And so we kind of are in that window of, man, we can probably go in the morning if we want to. It's a whole deal trying to battle the band here and who can have the facility and whatever. But
that's going to be nightmare fuel for Matt right there. We've got some band stories now.
Itch.
Well, I've got some too. So we get in on Thursdays and we come in, and the kids, I think they like having that extra time to recover. They like having that extra evening. I think a lot of our seniors do a senior dinner on Thursday nights. So there's a lot of team building that can take place. And then, here in Columbia, we've got Mizzou here. And so it seems like 1 or 2 Thursdays a year they play, and we're able to go and hit that. And then as a staff, we're able to go and hit the junior high games that are going throughout the area. It's been really a blessing for us just to have that extra time off.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
Talking about being organized, this is just a peek at our practice plan. Guys can screenshot that and zoom in on it. Probably nothing revolutionary here other than we're really dialed in on following it. And then you've got the highlighted portions there that, kind of take us through different group periods and whatnot. Any questions on that stuff, guys?
No, I love it.
Okay. And then, the next page is looking at our script. And so our script's going to marry up, with our group periods. It's going to marry up with those times. And so every coach on staff has this action, and, we stick to the script. We're very detailed on what we're running, play in and play out. And so if we don't have it on the script, we're not going to use it in the game. That's kind of our mentality. Don't really draw stuff up on the fly. Every now and then I'll get a little crafty and get yelled at by the OC that's sitting next to me right now. But for the most part, we do a really good job of not doing that. So we're not super good on good oriented. We do a little bit of it. Try to do the least amount of banging as possible. Keeping our kids, again, want them to have fun, want them to be healthy. And that's a big deal in football these days. Man, I'm a buyer. I'm a believer of that. We buy into it. So Monday, the film, like I mentioned, we've got just 1 or 2 things that we're going to do throughout the week that are a little bit physical, those inside run periods. And then on Thursday, scaling it back down, we might go helmets only, or might even not go helmets on Thursday and just walk through. In fact, this year, one of our Thursdays fell on a Halloween. And so we were dressed up as characters, and I think we had a coach dressed as a cow, giving some I don't know, info to Dude Bob on a play. But anyway, we're having a good time. So mentioned how it all started there with the empty, spent 11 years at my alma mater there at Willow Springs. And gosh, I just felt like I was beating my head against the wall. The last 6 years I was there, I was the head coach, and we were moderately successful. We went 500 almost every year I was there. And it just was like not enough, you just want more, and you feel like, man, I gotta learn, I gotta grow. And so I took a different job as an assistant at kind of a rival school down the road. They had a guy there that had been in the Hall of Fame, and he was the head coach, and I thought, man, I'm gonna go learn from this guy. And so went there and started getting the itch immediately, like, gosh, I want to get back and be a head coach again, and started thinking, well, what am I going to do different than I did the first time around? So, that's where this all started. I'm sitting in an AP government class, and anytime they would take a test or do something where they were working, I'm thinking about, what can I do different on the field if I get to run the show? And this is kind of what that became. And, we're excited about it. And anyway, personnel, your quarterback's got to be your dude. If you want to go and talk about every single school can find one guy, right? Can find one athlete. Maybe not the best thrower, maybe not the best runner, but he's going to be able to do a little bit of both, or he's got, the it factor or whatever it is. Everybody's got one guy, but we're going to put that guy at quarterback, and we're going to make that guy be special. And so he's got to be a great athlete. He's got to be a willing runner, that likes contact, etc. Our T and our X are interchangeable. Our R and our L are interchangeable. And so we'll show you how that works on dialing up the formations. And then our H is probably our truest football player. He's got to be a guy that can be, really physical. Might want to run the ball. Got to be a good pass catcher. You're looking for length, like all of the things in that position. So you get to see a little bit of that whenever we get to some film. Okay, so double G, we're going to talk about double G today, and I got on here not buck, and not pin and pull, all right? So we don't have the attached tight end, and it's not quite a short porch buck sweep, kick, and then inside, insert. We run it so many different formations that we're going to try to run it where we're kicking a corner or we're kicking a safety that's spinning down. We're going to formation you out. And make that work. And so you'll see a few of those if we get time to show the clips. But so that's all we really put our hat on there in the run game, and it's been really good to us. Any questions before we get started on double G? Okay, I'm gonna talk real quick about pin and pull. So pin and pull is great stuff. And if I coached college football where I had all day long, to have meetings with kids and they had been playing football for a while, and I knew they were going to communicate, and I was able to go and recruit the right kids that I knew would be, good communicators up front, I would probably do the pin and pull, where I could make sure I had the right leverage. I don't want to have to teach a tackle how to square pull and run. I want the tackle to do what I need the tackle to do. I want my guards to do what I need the guards to do. So we can divide our individual time the way that we need to divide it by being strictly double G as opposed to pin and pull. And the onus is on the play caller. It's on Coach Harrell to make sure he puts us in the right formation to get the defense aligned so that we're not in a bad spot with our guards. And so we have some generic rules that we do versus odd front teams and even front teams, and then we get kinky with it a little bit after we maybe tipped our hand a few too many times one way or whatever it is. And so you'll see a few ways that we get kinky with it. And then we've got a lot of ways that we protect it, a lot of RPO things that we can do off of that, and then some different sweep things that we can do. And yeah, good stuff. Anyway, this is a peek at our yards per game. I don't have it on there, but this year we had 88 attempts and 8.8 yards. You can see in 2021, that was when I had the running quarterback that I was talking about, 10.74 yards per attempt. It just becomes a really dynamic play when you can get out and run like that. So I'm going to pull it up over here on this screen if I can. You guys able to see this now?
No, we only see the tab that you're sharing.
Yeah, I've got to figure this out real quick.
That's all right. We can cut, but
all good.
Okay.
You may have to just unshare and reshare,
or you can stop,
or you can share your entire screen and just go from tab to tab. Yeah, if you do entire screen, you should be able to flip it back and forth.
Boom. All right.
All right, hold on 1 second. Let me know when you're ready, because I'm just going to do a lead back in because I'll cut this point.
I think that I'm ready now.
All right, we're back with Coach here. He's got Huddle Up ready to show us some double G. So, Coach, go ahead and take it back away.
Yes, sir. All right. Back this up just a little bit if I can get to the right spot. So, again, trying to paint that picture. And what we do formationally is we have our T and our X, and we get in a situation where we want to put the T in the backfield, and we want to put him offset here or offset here or offset here. We're able to tag a number to that guy. And so if we want to go, our 57 wins in the last 6 years, 4 conference titles, 4 district titles, 4 years of 5,000 yards or more. And that's happened in 2 different school districts. I'm at a 6A school now where we have about 2,100 kids in the school, and really blessed with a lot of talent. Shout out to the people. You guys talk on your podcast all the time to different coaches from all across the country. And I think one of the themes that you would hear from anybody is that, nothing that you do is really something that you created or that you have, come up with. I've been really blessed by a lot of people, and these people really stand out to me. And, I got Ethan and Alex, both those guys are on my staff right now, and you got the DC and the OC listed there. They're the absolute best. That sounds like rhetoric, but they are. Man, they're good. Brandon Pitts, worked with him for a long time, and been really blessed by a lot of things that he brought to the table. And then some of the old heads that I took a lot from, Steve Airy, Scott Womack, Vince McCroskey. Those guys are they're brilliant in their own way, and I've been really blessed to have just been a small part of their success. And anyway, let's get started. So, we're one of my favorite quotes here: when they're having fun and enjoying it, they're more likely to be good at it. If a kid wants to be a part of something, they're going to have a little bit more of a buy-in maybe. And I think that's a great quote from Steve Kerr. And so MOB, you'll see MOB on all of our slides, but that stands for max effort, own the outcome, and brotherhood. Some things that we really lay our hat on is that ownership. And so when things aren't going well, why aren't they going well? I think that's why we've been able to really improve our double G that we're going to talk about. We do a really good job, going back and looking at why things aren't successful. Why is the play not where it needs to be? And then how can we correct that? And really dive into that as well. So I'll take you through a quick practice plan, practice schedule, and if you guys want me to pass off on this stuff, we can. Just let me know. I don't have to spend time on it, but I'm sure welcome to.
Take us through it, Coach.
Okay, perfect. So, we're going to be consistent throughout the week. Mention the kids having a good time. I think part of having a good time is not being nervous about what's ahead. We don't really condition our kids. I don't run them at the end of practice unless they've done something just nonsensical. I want them to want to come into work every day. There's a lot of things that pull them in different directions, and so we're really user-friendly in that way. But Monday, we're going to have film and walkthrough. They're in and out of there in 35 minutes once the season gets started. I mean, it's fast. We have to be super organized to make that happen, and I'll show you how we do our organization in a minute. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, those are our inside run days, our 7-on-7, our inside run, and our pass under pressure days. And then Thursday, we've got our early morning walkthrough, our sudden change, our situational. Those are things that, I think we do a really good job of on Thursdays. Base formation is called Gus Right. If we want to go Gus Right and put the T offset right here, it's Gus Right T5 or Gus Right T6 or Gus Right T7. And so it's just a super easy way to manipulate that guy. But we can also do it with our R and our L. We can do it with our X. We can do it with our H. And so we've got about 6 formations that we spend, most of our time in. But then we manipulate with those things and get a ton of play out of that. I think we went for 183 different formations this year. And so you want to, you're stopping 5 or 6 run plays. You're stopping 5 or 6 drop backs. But we're going to give it to you out of a bunch of different formations, and we're going to make you line up the right way. And if you don't line up right, we're going to eventually find it and have a lot of success doing that.
Coach, I got a question with that. I used a very similar numbering system for my running back because it gave us that flexibility. Do you use just 5, 6, or 7, or is there stuff outside of that? Just out of curiosity.
1 through 11, Coach. 1 through 11.
There we go.
Yep.
I was like,
so
my question.
If we want to take the T, normally it lines up on the left. So in every formation, he's out on the left. If you're looking from the offensive vantage point towards the football, and if we want to move him to the opposite side of the field, we can either give a T over call, which puts him automatically in between the R and the X, or we can say T9, which puts him as a wing, or we can say T10, which puts him out in the slot, or we can say T11, which puts him out wide at the numbers. And so every kid has to know those numbers. And by the time you get into June and you've hit 4 or 5 camp days and you're about to go to your team camp or whatever, everybody's pretty much got it down. Of course, they walk in now if they're sophomores, juniors, and seniors, and it's old hat and it's easy. But man, it can change the game. You find a matchup that you want to take advantage of, and put a guy in the slot and make the corner get a little bit uncomfortable, and then run double G at the corner and go kick him out. You can have a little fun.
You guys quit picking on the corners. Coach, I'm a former corner. I swear this podcast has just become bashing on corners for like 7 episodes.
It's going to be that tonight, Kyle, so buckle up. And Coach, what we did 1 through 5, same numbering system idea. I just saw our math scores when we got there, so I was like, I'm just going to keep it at 5.
Yeah.
I'll say this. If Coach is there, if you look into this, it can transform your offense and the flexibility within your formations in one simple move.
Yeah, it's so easy. I mean, seriously, 6 formations that turn into 183 different formations. I've got a graphic I can show if you want that there's some that we're only in at one time, but it's something new that the defense hasn't seen, and we're just trying to manipulate a formation and see what we can take advantage of. But we not only do we have all of those tags with all of those players, we've got about 18 different motions that we use. And so here's one of our motions. We're just going to hop the H over. So H hop, move him over, and now we're going to set the edge here to the field running our double G. And so there's the down block by the H. It's not a great down block, but it's just enough. What we teach here, so we're at a podcast and you guys can see this. We're telling the H, you can't lose over the top. If that guy gets over the top of you, the play is going to be dead. It's probably going to be a 1 or a 2 yard gain if you don't get that guy sealed in. And so running this, over the years, anytime we have a negative play, it's almost always that guy not getting the leverage that he needs on the play. All right, so that's the most important block, is keeping that guy in. If he goes inside of you and you lose, like it looks like this guy's losing right here because it's not a super physical block, but if he goes inside of you, you're winning. Like the play, you've won the play. Even if he ends up disrupting the backside guard, which he does right here, we've still won the play, because the backside guard is kind of a non-factor. This is not the best look. But here's another motion where we're in quads left. Okay, quads left, and we've got X cold motion. So we're going to motion him out and then back in, and then there's the alignment. We've got them to move on the motion. Okay, and so now we're setting up and sealing the edge with our H. Okay, our wing right here is going to take care of the end. We've got a box player. This is the next most important block on the night. A lot of people that run this, they're running it with the tight end attached, and they're down blocking everything. And so, it's hitting really fast, right? We're running it out of a perimeter look, and so we're going to crack the first guy in the box. And it's up to the slot receiver. He has to define what that is. And so if he deems it to be the box player, he takes it, and then the guards just have to react off of whatever's next. So against this look right here that we're seeing, this kind of generic 4-2-5 look where they've got the overhang player out here, we're going to take this, we're going to kick the overhang, and then we're going to wrap to a safety if everything works the way it's supposed to work. So here comes the kick, boom, there's the wrap to the safety, boom, and then we've got a good runner. Watch it without all the motion. There's the kick, there's the wrap. Anytime we get that block to the safety, you're looking at a 15-yard or more play. And a lot of times those are the ones that go to the house.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about your backside guard? I know anytime we talk to coaches about this, that's the one key point that's kind of differentiates between programs.
Absolutely. So our teaching point for both our guards, we're going to do, we call it a square pull. We're going to square pull or skip pull. And we're trying to get depth. There are 2 things that cause this play trouble in the box. It's penetration from the end, or it's penetration from one of these 2 tackles, right? And so if you get penetration and you get ran into, well, we're missing a block at the next level. Really simple concept. So they're going to get their depth. Hopefully you can see a good rep right here. You never know. There's the square pull. So watch 71 right here. And I should make this bigger, but watch 71 right here as he gets his depth. You can see how he's really kicking back and he's reaching around. And so he's all the way, he's probably 3 yards deep. And so as you go through it from this angle, look how deep he is off the line of scrimmage. So here's that block that we talked about on the end from the H, and he's got plenty of separation to get around that block. And that is key for us, making sure that he is really getting his depth. We also, as you can tell right here from alignment, we are cheating as much as we can, helmet on hip of the center. That is a big thing for us, and we do it every single time we line up. We never crowd the ball, even if we're running, gap down power. We're going to line up like this to make this play work for us. So we're not tipping anything, but we're going to give a little bit probably in the power game, even though I think we averaged 6 this year in power. But we're going to make sure that we are able to get off the ball and run and have angles to do so. That's the thing of beauty right there. Yeah, one more time from here. Speed it up through the motion. Again, with this block from the end, he just has to do a good job of pinning that guy down right there. Boom. And then if that guy fights over the top like he did, man, a lot of times when that happens, you're looking at a 3-yard gain tops. But we got lucky right there, and we got the crackback blocker coming into the scene right here. He's going to hunt out the Mike linebacker, and so as he does, he ends up getting a piece of the other guy. Just kind of worked out nice for us, but that is a nice alley to run through right there.
Beautiful.
Another motion right here, but this time we've got a tag on the backside, and so this team kind of prepped for it. They did a really good job of playing wide, but that's okay because we want to run double G, right? So we do this a lot of times to protect it on the backside, and we'll read a backside inside backer, or if we're playing an odd front team, we may read the overhang backside. And right here, I mean, they've got 3 stand-up. It's 3rd and super long, right? But we're going to get our depth.
Kyle, why do they got 2 over there?
I don't get the alignment here, Coach, and I'm not here to call out another coach I don't know, but they got 3 backside for your 1 wide receiver. Is that kid like a dude back there, or?
No.
Like,
so I mean, I'm gonna tell you what.
They've committed 3 guys to 1 back here. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to tell
you what I think the issue is. Now, first of all, it's 3rd and super long, so I do think that part of it is like, man, we're going to play some, prevent type defense. We see this crap a lot though, and again, we're in empty, we're in quads, and people are going, okay, like we've got to play, a certain way versus this look. And so we're going to get this, and then how well do these kids adjust on the fly after having, maybe we just got a big play on them to play before, and we're right back on the ball. Things happen fast, right? And so we're giving you a lot of different formations and a lot of different motions. OC's all the time saying, man, I don't have to be smarter than, the other coach. I just have to be smarter than the kid on the
kids. Yep.
And I mean, how true is that? Like, I could not tell you what this guy's doing right here. We're calling this because I think the last couple of times he had lined up right here and was screaming off the edge. And so, we're going to go ahead and we're going to widen that guy out. We're going to run a slant on the backside and, go ahead and take the 8 yards or whatever. Okay, so, we go into the district title game this year, and we had been a no huddle team almost all year. You can tell by the way our crappy huddle looks right here. We don't huddle, right? We go into this look, and this team that we were playing was undefeated. They were 11-0 going into this game. They were 3 high odd front. They were hell bent on making sure we didn't throw it over the top of them. We've got some speed, and we threw for 3,100 yards this year, and our quarterback had 35 passing touchdowns. And he's going to NIU. He's really freaking good, right? And so we go into this game, and we're like, all right, we'll just take a kid out. We're going to sub in a kid to play tackle or play tight end. This big old joker right here, we're going to go unbalanced, so tackle over, add a tight end, and put a wing down. And look, they're pointing like they don't know what the hell's going on. They're pointing, trying to figure it out. And all of a sudden, we're just going to go and we're going to kick out a corner. Boom, gone. See ya. So that's like the 4th play of the game, district title game, and that set the page. We ran for about 350 yards that night. Double G went nuts that night. A lot of those types of looks. But again, I mean, we are 2 or 3 gaps in trouble right here, right?
Yeah.
Again,
they did
sugar
not
huddle.
It is amazing to me that it just blows my mind that odd front coaches won't adjust to this. They won't get out of the odd front.
Isn't it wild? It really is
crazy.
Wild.
And you can see it every Friday
They
night.
will with us, Coach. We see them. Their answer for us is, hey, we're gonna slide a hat. And so all of a sudden, the center now is the guard and those types of things. Well, that's okay. Now it's our even front rules and nothing. I mean, in our mind as a play caller, our OC's just going, well, that's fine. Now we're just going to have to run this versus looks that we would want to run it out of, versus an even front. And so we're going to find what we need to find and make you do it. But, they had a hard time adjusting to this. And They wanted to stay 3 high, and so we were happy they did. But again, talking about, our kids have to be smart. So this guy becomes the first guy outside of the wing. So now he's the box player. So he's got to decide which kid's going to show up first to be the box player. So as he goes in, boom, he tracks it, he finds it, and then his job, just like the end's job, the H's job, not letting the end over the top, his job is to not let this guy go over the top. So he wants to attack the high side of that guy. If he doesn't, and that guy fights over the top, sometimes he'll make the play for a gain of 6 or 7.
Coach, people blitz you a lot?
No, not really.
Just
we throw
curious.
a ton of quick screens. Let me grab this here for you. Get a view here. We play, we throw a ton of quick screens. We do a lot of play action. And again, we throw quick game really well. And so if you want to blitz, great, go ahead. And then I would say, another valuable thing for us is the RPOs that we've added to it. I mean, we're going to throw, quick screen with a hitch, like a stick concept out here on the outside of things as well, and just really hold you steady. And if you want to show, then we'll take the 6 or 7 yards. We had a guy this year that could do that, and we had a coordinator that was patient enough to do that as well, and it was very valuable for us. Again, we're playing against Park Hill this year. We lost this game in triple overtime, 48-47 or 46-47, and it was a tough loss, but, obviously offensively had a pretty good night. So you're looking right here. We've got to make this work and get this guy hooked. Okay, decent job. That guy fights over the top, but we're physical with him and we run him. And that's the teaching point right there is if you lose and that guy beats you across the face, you have to stay on it. You can't leave it. All right, so we're going to run that guy out. Kid does a decent job of just running with it and driving it, and then we've created an extra lane because our guards are pretty good at finding what they got to do.
Coach, can you talk briefly about your running back and what it looks like you're telling him to stay flat like a traditional buck sweep and then cutting it. Is that kind of what you're going for?
Yes, sir. So, we'll put out cones in the springtime when we have spring ball here, and he's going to take the ball. The teaching point, coach, is he's going to take the ball, stay flat until he gets outside of the H's block. That's really it. So once we clear the box, once he gets out of the box right there, he'd be sticking the toe. And they get lazy with it. And, about once every 3 games, somebody will get burned because of it. But this is one of our ways we protect double G. We're going to run our double G, and then we'll throw the RPO off of it. Quarterback, again, he's a dude. He gets punched in the mouth right here. But absolutely delivers a shot, and we're going to take that, and we're going to make a play. Couple more clips here, and then I'm going to pull up more ways that we protect it. A nice look at how we attack 4-2-5 teams. So we've got, they're starting out with the overhang to the sniffer side. Okay, so we've got our sniffer, we've got our slot, we've got our receiver out here, and we're in pistol. All right, and so if you're a 4-2-5 team, yeah, you're going to put that guy right here. Okay, so how do you react to motion? We're going to quick motion. We're going to get set up. And we see this a lot, guys, where they don't quite pull the trigger all the way over. And so all of a sudden it's time to go do what? It's time to go kick a corner. And he just wants to backpedal and get out of there, right? And so, we don't see a ton of 4-2-5 anymore, but when we do, we get excited about that. So again, they had him out here. We motioned over. All they did was they bumped the mic just a little bit. Boom. If we don't lose this block right here, we are now kicking a corner again, right? And life's pretty good. Not bad anyway. We still pick up 7 or 8 or whatever it is, but could have been a little better. Again, odd front, team want to play 3 high. I mean, we're seeing this action.
Coach, it's unreal how many times you have a puller 8-9 yards downfield.
Oh, it's all day, every day, guys.
It's wild. It's wild.
So here they blitzed us, right? So let's see what happens. It's kind of ugly looking from the start. I don't know. None of this is proofed on the film. We're just grabbing and going. Let's see here. So bad job here. So a couple things. I can talk about him because he's not with me anymore, but we fired this kid after about 2 more games, not being physical enough, right? And so sometimes you end up going through and talk about self-evaluation. You've got to do that as a coach. You've got to make sure that you're watching and you're asking, all right, what is causing this play to not be as successful as it could be? man, he's got to do a better job of coming in and being physical. Didn't talk about this coaching point right here, but we really try to manipulate the split whenever we're running double G. And so you notice he's a little bit tighter to the line of scrimmage whenever we run it. Let's go to another look. Okay, so that's one reason why we love running it into the boundary. It doesn't tip it as much, right? Now all of a sudden you don't recognize this guy being tied to the line of scrimmage because he's kind of got nowhere else to be. And so we'll line up that way and run it to the boundary. But he's got to be tight enough. So what do we do to kind of balance that? Well, a lot of our play action is going to, we're going to bring that guy in. We run a lot of mesh with like a drive concept behind it, and we'll bring that guy in on that. So we're going to do that on a bunch of different looks. And so his rule is to be 3 or 4 yards from the H when we're running double G. Again, this is the same kid I was talking about. Not physical enough, right? Not good enough. All right, let's look at how we protect it. If I can find this real quick. It's always a trouble finding film.
Coach, while you're getting there, I saw against your 4-2-5 look, it looked most of the time you were getting a 2 or, you're running it to a 2 or 3 technique. In the event that you're running it at an A-gap defender, you got a 2-eye or a shade on the center, play side. How are you handling that?
Yeah, so guys, one of the things that you've got to be like really hard about and firm on is how you scoop block. And so we teach that, if I'm hearing your question right, Coach, like if we're running it to a shade and we're trying to, run double G to the right and they're shaded on the right side of the center. So first of all, the center's like rule is he has A-gap threat. And if there are 2 A-gap threats, he has play side A-gap threat, right? And so obviously we're trying to formation people out of giving us 2 A-gap threats. It happens every now and then. And we end up having the backside guard ends up scooping that guy out as well. But we turn and run. And so we don't really block those guys. We're just going to turn and get across their body and make them go underneath us. And that's all we need to get outside of them. So not super worried about a double G, like if they give us 2 G-techs and they're like getting vertical with them, we're going to get down with that tackle on it and we're going to scoop it on the backside with our backside tackle. So again, talked earlier on about, the ability to, I think it's the next one, Coach, about the ability to make sure that your practice plan is simple by not being a pin and pull guy. Well, we can go and we can say, all right, guards are going to go work their pull path. And so for 10 minutes, they're working pull path. Tackles and centers are going to go work scoop blocking. Boom. All right. So that's 10 minutes of my practice plan. We do that every single week, at least one day a week where we're working pull path. Guards are hitting bag and then wrapping and they're out and they're running. You mentioned them running. We're going to do that on air, on bags, and then we're going to work the scoop block over and over and over on bags. Every single kid in our program should be able to tell you what a scoop block is, what it looks like, and that doesn't mean they're going to do it right, but they have no excuse for the wrath that comes whenever they don't, right? So, we've got ways to protect double G. Good job, Alex. Okay, so we're going to protect it with different things, but just looking through here, we've got motion, we've got weak side run, we've got RPO, we've got screens, and then we've got different rule adjustments off of play actions. Looking at this right here, we're quads. We're going in on our motion right here. There's the double G off the motion. We talked about how motion can protect it. We saw versus that team in the district title game, their halftime adjustment was, and I hope he doesn't watch this, but it was kind of funny because they had this idea that if we went in motion off of the quads, that they were going to drop back their end to help cover the motion. And so, like, we would just go in motion. They would have one less hat in the box again. Like, it solved nothing. And man, it was good. It was really good. So we motion, and some people just don't react well to motion. And when they do, when we find it, like it's good. Okay, so here we're going to run sweep. We've got a false pull. So when we run, we're empty quads right here. We're going to run, motion. Oh, I can't run the thing. We're going to run our motion, our sweep down to the bottom of the screen, but we're going to pull our guards to the right. It's always fun to go and kind of see. I don't know what's happened here.
Technical difficulties, but
there we go.
There we go.
It's always cool to see like which kids react to the puller. So as we pull away, watch the backside corner and the safety kind of pause right here. Can always see that action kind of unfold. Crack, kick. Okay, we're going to protect it with an RPO. So here's the RPO. We're going to throw a slant on the backside. That big tight end right there is a UNLV offer. He's a good, big, thick target. And he's 6'5", 250 pounds right now. He's a sophomore. He's going to be a dandy. Okay, and then we've got a tunnel that we throw off the back of this that is pretty filthy.
I think it's
so again, with the guards pulling and moving.
Coach.
What'd you say, guys?
It was lagging a little bit, but it's going now. So go ahead.
Okay, sorry about that. So we get our guards pulling to the right here to the field, and then throwing the tunnel on the backside of that. I think we got another clip of that.
Yeah, you know who's running a lot of that? A similar one this year is Montana State. Love to pull the guard opposite and throw the quick screen. They did that quite a bit this year.
This is Detroit, so you're going to make it off.
So we've got a naked off of it where we're going to show double G down here to the bottom of the field, and we're going to boot away from it, back to the sideline here at the top of the screen. There's the fake, and there's the boot, fake. I mean, you see all the flow from the linebackers moving. It's just dirty.
Fast flow.
Yep. And so that's really it that I've got for you tonight. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Matt, I know you'll probably have some stuff here for Double G. I'm over here racking my brain of how I would stop it. So,
Coach, can you pull up the very first clip you showed us? Is that possible? And it's like you had an unbalanced line.
Yeah, it was like the
and
empty
it blew my
unbalance.
mind.
Yeah,
it blew my mind.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I'm on it.
I was like, this guy comes out with the very first play he shows.
Well, so hold on. Go to your.
Pull up the Troy game. This is what they're wanting to see, I think.
No, I asked them if they wanted to see where it was the heavy set.
Was it the unbalanced, the heavy set?
Unbalanced. Yeah, it was unbalanced. It looked like you just had a guard and
it was going left to right. I remember that. You guys were driving left to right. But I think it was further on the. I think it was on the other side. Yeah.
I failed to tell you guys. So we'll go, tackle over unbalanced. So tackle, wing.
Yeah.
And we'll just leave a guard on the backside and leave two receivers over there out wide. We'll quick screen here. Yeah, coach.
Yeah.
Coach is going to pull up a good look for you. But we'll quick screen on the backside of that with an RPO, and we'll run double G to the other side, or we'll run power to the other side, or we'll hop over and run it to the weak side. And so we've got a few really nice looks here.
He gives this one, but he shouldn't.
Okay. So here we are. We've got guard over. We've got tackle over, and we're just center guard here on the backside, right? So we've got two receivers standing up out here with a third, two eligible guys, and then hop it over. No real adjustment. We're just going to take what they give us, and they were playing so soft, we took the quick screen.
The amount of times today I've seen a team line up with too many guys weak against you is staggering.
Coach, it's a lot of fun.
I know you guys are going fast. It's all. I mean, like, good for you. I'm just over here, like,
no duo.
Yeah.
How does this happen? This is brilliant. I love it.
So I'm going to pull up the conference championship game. We had been running just a little. We hadn't really flirted much with this single G look, single guard look on the backside, but hit them with this a couple of times and ended up being like really nice. I think this is it, Coach. Yeah. So check this one right here out. I think we've got both the end zone view. Yeah.
This is duo.
So we're running duo right here, but we're running it with guard only, right? And again, they're trying to figure out, like, what are we doing? What are they lining up like this for? So we're going to motion over. We're split flowing the duo, climbing, boom, punch that action in.
That's fun.
It looks fun.
It's a good time. So we hop over. We've been hopping over and running double G off of that hop over. So we'll motion over like this, and we'll come in and we'll hook, and then we'll pin this guy down, and we'll kick this out, and we'll run our double G off that short edge. Well, this time we get into that look, and then, okay, we're going to run duo because they're playing wide. Their safeties are out creeping and just having a good time with it. So we're able to come back across. We're going to wall this off.
I'll be honest, Coach, I was always too scared to go too much tackle over or guard over or anything like that. just because I was worried with what it would do to our kids' heads, but the way you guys are executing it, that's beautiful. That's fun.
Well, it's a day one install, and then we just live in it. So we day one install unbalanced and empty. So our DC absolutely hates us.
I bet.
But he's, by the time we get to 7-on-7s and whatever in the summer, he's seen everything. So he's
Oh, yeah.
he's pretty blessed with that too. But I think what I would say in terms of going tackle over, if you're playing an odd front team and you're not going tackle over, I don't know what you're having success with. I mean, maybe you've got a really good tight end and you're able to attach and do it that way. Probably did a little bit more of that whenever I was at West Plains years before. I had a tight end that went on to play at Missouri State, and he was really good, really physical player, but he was long and athletic as well. But man, adding that extra hat there, and they want to be even, right? So it's an odd front, but they're even on each side of the field. And so you add the extra hat, and if they don't adjust, they're in a big bind, right? And so just add that extra hat and make them, decide what they really want to be.
Coach, this was awesome. Like I said, we didn't know what to think going into this, and it is absolutely, Matt. This is what we said. We said, look, this is either going to be one of the best episodes we've ever had or one of the worst. And it was up there with the best, Coach.
One of the
this
best.
was
one of the best.
It's absolutely one
It's
of the
not.
best. So, Coach, we take it you're out of things to show us, so we're going to kind of end the episode the way we always do. Matt, unless you have any other questions, I know I can see you just drawing over there. So
I do, but
maybe we'll ask it off air. We'll ask it off air.
We're gonna bring Coach back. We have other stuff
we need
cover.
to. So Coach, we end every podcast the same way when we get a coach for the first time. And we ask them, what is the most interesting or most unique thing that your program does that no one else does in the country? I'm going to add, obviously you just showed me something really unique. So besides what you just showed me, what's the most interesting or unique thing you guys do in it? It doesn't have to be an X's and O's thing. It can be anything in your program. We love asking the tough questions to coaches. So we'll give you a minute to think about it.
Well, my OC sitting here saying, we're doing indie circuits for our individual drills. We're going to do like a blocking drill, ball control drill. We're going to do, kind of a toe drill where we're breaking, trying to work on our routes. Quarterbacks have different things that they're doing at that time, kind of separate from this, but we're doing circuits. For years you've seen like defensive coaches do like tackle circuits and that type of thing. We're doing that on the offensive side, and it's been really good. I think a couple things. It's been really good for our coaches for buy-in. Everybody's got a really important piece of the day. That's really important. But then also I think, it doesn't become as stale because, number one, you're changing your drills up, but your kids are going from one coach to a different coach than what they're normally spending time with. I think that's been really impactful. I was going to give you another one. We do on the field for our pre-season scrimmage, we will do a scrimmage on the field, and we will have a steak dinner on the track, and we sell tables to do that, and it's our big fundraiser to come in, and you can buy a table at the 50-yard line, and then we have an auction, like a live auction that takes place, and it's been a huge fundraiser for us and a big part of what we do.
All right, so hold on, back up.
Awesome.
I need more explanation on this. Are you saying you have a steak dinner while there's a football game going on, or you have the football game and then the steak dinner afterwards?
So we're out there scrimmaging. I'm mic'd up. Okay, I've got a mic. The band is there. The cheerleaders are there. The dance girls are there. And then parents are lined along the track, but they've bought tables. And so you can buy corporate tables or you can buy individual seats at the table. And it costs a heck of a lot of money, but they're coming in, they're getting to watch their kid. And we're interviewing players throughout the scrimmage. You got freshmen scrimmaging freshmen for 20 minutes, and then you've got JV scrimmaging, and then you bring in the varsity, and you finish with the varsity. And in between each one of those things, we'll auction off things. A couple years ago, we auctioned off call a blitz, and so parents got to draw a blitz. They got to spend time with the defensive coordinator and draw a blitz, and then they got to call it. And so fun stuff like that. We gave an experience away one year where a family was able to be a part of the team for a week, and so they came to every coaches meeting, they came to every player meeting, they came to all the practices. They went through things with the players, and
That's
they got to
awesome.
do the pregame talk and so stuff like that. But I think that's been a huge part of, if I could leave you with one quote, I would say communities win championships. And I think that building community is like the most important thing. So there's some annoyance with giving so much buy-in, right? Because you give a lot of access to people and they might want more than you want to give them. But at the end of the day, if I truly believe that communities win championships, and I've got to bring in the community and want them to be a part of it, and I think we do something really unique with that.
Yeah, I love it. Matt, I don't think you were on my staff the one year, but I've definitely invited a dad to a film session one time, but I don't think it was as friendly as the way you do it. So
Good.
I love it, Coach. Coach, this was an incredible episode. We definitely want to get you back on. We can already tell you that. But we appreciate you coming on tonight. Super entertaining. Love everything you're doing there, and it's really easy to see why you guys are so successful over there.
Well, man, I appreciate it, guys. It was a lot of fun for me, and thankful for you guys. You guys put out a good product, and if I can ever help, let me know.
Absolutely. So for me and Matt, the Board Drill Podcast, Coach Perkins, thanks again. We will see you guys next week.